Everybody. Hello, everybody. Yeah, welcome to Random Bollocks. I don't know what happened, but that's the name I made the stream, and YouTube seems to.
Are we live yet?
Are we live? We're live. We're live. Well,
hello, and welcome to Critical Questions.
Live. You're an icon, and we have a pickle. So, yeah, no idea what we're doing. We were just, I'm bored. I'm off today. How do people that's unemployed survive? I don't know. Jeremy Kyle, is he gone? I don't know what. No, this is.
We write stupid scripts.
And play with AI.
And do quiz shows. Would you rather have force field hands or spatula hands?
I really don't like having days off when I have nothing to do. So, this is what's happened. And the person who won the poll, last time I checked as well, Nerdy, you got 0 votes. So I'd like to ask the audience, what the fuck's wrong with Nerdy?
What isn't?
Everybody, that's because every fucker voted for me, and then I had to go and make sure Stool won.
Oh,
yes, we're waiting on Stool. Stool hasn't come around yet. We're also waiting on God and Lucy and other people. Does anyone want the link? Come on in, say hello. We're just... Nerdy was telling me about his AI before we come in and how it's going to take over the world in approximately, what, 6.5 years? Depending on the algorithm.
6 seconds. Yeah, Skynet is among us.
You've been working on Skynet. It's going well?
Pretty. Yeah, it's going a bit too well, unfortunately. It's garnering exponential growth.
Would you mind sharing with us the backdoor secret codes so we can
Yes, very much so.
Well, you know, we're friends here. There's not like there's not many people around.
No one will ever see it.
Nobody will ever see it, man. This is not live. Are we live?
No, this isn't live. It's all right. They've all got image recognition, so it's friend or foe.
Right. Yeah. So image recognition. So anybody who is got their face on screen will be safe in the real life when Skynet takes over, and including yourself because it's your AI. So
yeah.
If you want to live in the future of Nerdy, you must put your face on camera. Is that what you're saying, Nerdy?
Basically, yeah.
Hi, Parker.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to some Random Bollocks.
Yay.
Any thoughts on anything? Happy Protestant Day to everybody as well. Happy Northern Ireland Protestant Day. We go out and burn stuff to the ground last night. Big giant bonfires, threaten to kill Catholics. Go out with flute bands.
Do they teach physics in Ireland? Because, well, just so those bonfires, the way they built them, it was larger at the top than it was at the bottom, I'm sure.
No, the smaller size was at the top. They did the building of the shape right, but it was the leaning bonfire of fucking temple somewhere, wherever the fuck it was. It went up and then leant across, but the crane was, I think, donated or paid for by the community, or it was, it's one of them situations, so you get what you pay for. But yeah, if nobody's seen the big giant fuck off massive waste of time bonfires they have over here.
It's a waste of pallets. Those are very useful pallets. There's a pallet shortage at the moment as well.
You noticed all the blue ones that were there? They're definitely nicked.
We had this conversation the other day, David, and not necessarily nicked.
Damn it.
You remember, they're not necessarily nicked, but...
They are nicked. No, they're so nicked.
They are. No, there's a whole fucking seriousness, though. You know, I posted it earlier on Twitter talking to a Catholic friend of mine. Growing up, their idea of going to the 12th was, if you go to the 12th as a Catholic, you're going to be killed. And we did sneak some Catholics in, because as Dave pointed out earlier, as anyone knows, I was sort of mixed growing up. Oh yeah, man, put them in a Rangers top and give them a pint. Nobody will notice the difference. And like, obviously our group of friends was mixed and we don't want them to miss out. So if they wanted to come, it was just like, don't shout Chucky or La and you'll be grand. Just get drunk with the rest of us. And
wait. 2 seconds. Nerdy is not a mouse. He's a rat.
But what happens if they get so drunk they tell them that they're Catholic? What happens then?
Pardon?
If you get so drunk as a Catholic and you just tell people, I'm a Catholic, what's going to happen to you? They're going to be like, you're drunk.
Not so much now, but Yeah, no, you'd have got a fucking hiding, man. You'd have got a beating. You'd have got no. And I hate saying that sort of thing, and I don't want to make it sound hyperbolic and stuff like that. But you know, it was whenever I was growing up, fucking insane. Like, it really, really was. You would be asked your name, and so you know we would always have a Catholic name if we were going out in Belfast or something like that, in case you were in the wrong place.
Well, that sucks.
Severely sucks. Speaking of people who suck, hi Jim.
It's Dr. Jim.
You said doctor.
Hello.
It is Dr. Jim. That is correct. Dr. Jim.
Hi, everybody.
Hey Jim.
Hi.
Thank you for joining, man, and congratulations on your PhD. Work well worth put in.
Thanks, my brother. I appreciate it.
What's your area of expertise, and what's not?
So, generally speaking, my PhD is in biblical studies, Hebrew Bible, but my focus is on Danielic literature.
Fair enough.
Oh, so you're all about Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel and Danielic literature.
Expand on that. What do you mean by Danielic literature?
So you have other texts that are attributed to Daniel that were written later. You've got the Daniel Discourse. You have something called the Hour of Eschatology in
These
the
would be
Book of John.
attributed to him then, though obviously not, you know.
And then you have like the additions to Daniel, like Prayer of Azariah, Bell and the Dragon, Susanna.
Now, who wrote Daniel? Right, you got your PhD now. You must know the answer. Who wrote it?
Fucking Daniel, duh.
Okay.
Wait. There was a Daniel.
I mean, we don't know what his name is. He
You say that,
claims
though,
to
you
be
smart-ass
Daniel,
bastard,
writing in
but-
the 6th century.
You say that like a smart-ass bastard, but if a fucking Christian asked you who wrote Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, you wouldn't reply with Mark, you fucking fool, would you? So kick your ass.
No, we don't know who wrote it or if that's his name, but we know that he lied about the date that he purports to have written it in. So I guess it's reasonable to assume that he probably lied about his name too.
Yeah, so I was right. Shut your
But
mouth.
it doesn't really
PhD.
matter what his name is.
No, doesn't.
As long as he's the content of it is him and his.
I disagree. It'd be really hard to gain a following and popularity if his name was Horsecock.
It depends. What's the Hebrew translation of horsecock? It might sound really good.
I'd rather not.
Come on, teach us Hebrew.
Shakespeare. If Shakespeare did Shakespeare, when all we know about Shakespeare is he's the person that wrote these things.
I know. Is Shakespeare as important as what he used to be, though?
What's that?
As an
When people
underpinning,
put
yeah.
Shakespeare on the same pedestal about how wonderful and how great his work is, considering now people think Game of Thrones is just absolutely amazing and all the rest of it, and you know, I'm talking
Is it
about
Shakespeare?
main opinion.
Stories.
Main opinion, you know, not scholarly English teachers and things like that. If you'd have went back a certain time and asked people to name somebody that would have said Shakespeare and shit like that, I understand this is TV and internet and all the rest of it, but that's the point. Do you think that their names still have the same power with them in reference to what they are in points of literature as
I think
they did then? Did I
I
word
think
that
back
correctly?
then. I think back then they'd be like Shakespeare. Like, isn't he that really like cocky rich guy who does plays? I think that's like historically accurate a little bit.
I think that whether it's historically accurate or not, I think that things like the Book of Daniel, that apocalyptic literature, things that are very vague and ambiguous, but that can be really applied to any situation of oppression or that any sort of moment that needs hope inspired. You know, I mean, look at the Jews and the Christians. They've been applying, you know, the Book of Daniel and interpreting it in different ways, from the claimed 6th century exile under Babylon to the exile under the Seleucids, Antiochus IV in the 2nd century BCE, then the destruction of the temple in 70, Hasmonean dynasty and all kinds of good stuff.
Okay, we get it. You got a PhD, right? Cool.
Don't act like I didn't talk a fucking lot before.
Oh, I know. This is why we love you.
What was your
Jim.
dissertation on?
This is why I'm never invited on.
You're always invited on, but you're too busy having like heart attacks and being busy and studying and stuff.
You're always invited. We just don't send the invitation.
I can't believe you survived to the end of your PhD, to be quite honest.
I had a heart attack. Seriously.
Yeah, I know.
What was your dissertation?
What's that?
What was your dissertation?
I didn't hear you.
He's
cut out.
asking what your dissertation was on.
Oh, I thought you asked me what my medication was on. I was like, surely he didn't say that. Our dissertation is on the methodology and the purpose behind the 2nd century redactor and editor selecting the early court narratives in chapters 1 through 6.
You just made that up there now, didn't you?
What's the full title though? That's the abbreviated.
Well, I mean, the full titles is just as much of a word salad. It's ridiculous. But essentially, what I theorize is that the Book of Daniel, the 2nd century redactor and editor, specifically chose these texts in chapters 1 through 6, these individual court narratives that circulated individually or smaller collections before, and he chose them because of the stories of being a foreigner under an oppressive rule, or a rule that causes you to be uncomfortable and to challenge you and being able to hold to your religious customs and values. And I think it's just to inspire hope in situations like that, like such as in the 2nd century Antiochus IV, when he takes away the morning and evening sacrifice and takes away, he outlaws circumcision, he makes Jews eat pork, a bunch of stuff.
Speaking of things to eat, if anyone hasn't seen Tusk made a lovely steak and kidney pie there not too long ago, and with
You seen
Guinness
his
and
chicken and
stuff.
rice this evening?
Pardon?
You seen his chicken and rice this evening?
No, I didn't see the chicken and rice this evening. I'm streaming, unfortunately.
It was 5 minutes before.
Yep, I was totally doing that. Things and stuff. We've discussed the things and stuff. So, Jim, now that you have that, right? We all know that I've said before, I get what you do. I want to know the why behind it. Did you go as far as that and get that so you can have something of clout?
For the doctor title.
No, shut your mouth a minute. Right? In the internet scene that we are in and going through it and having all the rest of that, do you feel that gives you a wee bit more clout in talking to people, say, like William Lane Craig or something like that? Do you think that he would take acknowledgement of you now? Even though we all know you were very well knowledged of this, on certain topics beforehand. Do you think it gives you a wee bit more clout, so to speak, when talking to other mainstream apologists online now?
I mean, with some people, sure, but I mean, it's relative, really. I think it's going to vary from person to person. I think people like J. Warner Wallace or Mike Lycona, like people that I've already had interactions with, that I'm sure that they regretted. I think that they would find any excuse to not have interactions with me. It doesn't have to have anything to do with whether or not I have a PhD, although that's usually the argument.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. Do you, what was the goal of this? Are you now going to go forward and teach this? Are you going to?
What is
the goal?
That's the goal. I mean, I became an atheist, like somewhere around the halfway mark through grad school, and it's at the point, to where my education up until that point was training as a pastor and studying the Bible, just solely that, just that was everything, and I would have to go and completely just start over because none of the credits that I had gotten up to that point would have been applicable to any grad program,
So this would be an extension of what
there's
we've already-
no degree path for me other than biblical studies.
So this is more of a finishing off of what you started before, but leaving it more so that it's open to a more secular and not Christian-based education.
Well, I still like the Bible. I still love the Bible. It's still my favorite book. You know, I still enjoy, you know, studying and researching. You know, it's not like I'm like, oh, you know, this sucks, I got to do this. You know, I enjoy it. You know, but yeah, I want to teach. There are 2 tentative positions in opening in the fall that I am tagged for. So hopefully I will get one of those positions.
Spartan would like to know, is there a video of you talking to Lacona or Wallace online?
No, I don't think there is. One of them was a call in, like with the one with J. Warner Wallace was a call in. He did an AMA, but this was before I had YouTube. It was just when I knew of them, just from their travels around.
What teachings where you want to go with that?
I mean, I want to teach. You know, I want to continue teaching. I want to write. I would like to share the things that I have learned. You know, just do what I've tried to do up until this point, and that's make something that is not nearly as accessible as it should be, more accessible to people who can't, you know, who don't have the luxury of going and getting a PhD in this field.
So we all have to come to you now.
Well, I mean, you know, it's, you know.
It's lots open if anyone wants to come in. Random topics. We can go with Jim. We can talk about Nerdy's AI. We can talk about how Dave's so quiet. We can, you know, lots of things. So if anyone wants to jump in, this is just to kill time. As I said earlier before, I don't know if you heard it, Jim, at the start. I don't know how people survive unemployed. I am so bored all fucking day. And the only thing I really have to do is cut the front garden, and I'm totally just going to do that tomorrow, so I've something to do tomorrow.
Huh. Why don't you just, like, do half?
Because it's a tiny garden. It's not a massive garden. Well, the back garden is, but the back garden at the minute is an absolute disaster. I need to get the digger in. And...
Okay, then just bust out the scissors.
Wait, are you not working tomorrow?
No.
Oh. You told me that.
Go all Japanese bonsai on your yard. Get that pristine cut.
This is a call back to the whole Protestant thing over here, right? If I worked in Newry, I wouldn't have tomorrow off, right? Because Newry would be a Catholic area, and you don't get the second Protestant day off. See, the 12th is a mandatory holiday over here that the government has implemented that you have to get because everybody gets it. So if they want, they can go to the, you know, Protestant day, and then the 13th is. The 13th is... I prefer the 13th. Stopped going to the 12th a long time ago. I brought my daughter in 2018 because she was 1. She'd just been old enough to go, and it's, you know, let's go see the band, see what she thinks. She also went to St. Patrick's Day as well. But the point is, if you work in a Protestant area, they will give you the 13th off, but you'll have to work St. Patrick's Day. So if you want to take St. Patrick's Day off, it comes out of your holidays. So because I work in a Protestant area, I get the 13th off.
So how are you going to celebrate?
We're missing out on these Protestant holidays.
Pardon?
I want to know why we're missing out on these Protestant holidays.
Well, the 13th is...
you can thank the reformers for that.
The 13th's a big... the 13th is more of a local thing. I've never actually... Because the 12th moves around, right? You have the 6 counties. So you have the main 12th for each county. And because I live close...
The 12th moves around. It's on the 12th.
Right, well, it moves around. So that this year it's in Tandragee. Next year
it moves around? Where does it go?
Yes, it goes to different towns every year. The 12th, for that county, each city or place gets a turn every year to host the 12th, so to speak.
So what happens on the 12th if you're not in that place?
It's like today the 22nd, right? No, today's the 12th, remember?
The Armagh, right? I'm in County Armagh. So the County Armagh 12th is in Tandragee. Tandragee is 3 miles from me. It's just over the road that way. Next year, it may be in, say, it might be in Armagh itself. But that's where that parade is for the day. So all the bands coming up to the 12th, right?
I thought the US was bad with their time zones. You guys like trade days.
Oh no, it's the same day. It's just hosted in a different city or town every year.
Okay, so the 12th just...
The 12th is the 12th.
It doesn't move chronologically.
Every single year it is held on the 12th. Okay.
Right. So okay, got you.
Right.
The location of celebration changes.
Relocation of celebration. Yes. Thank you, Tusk, for pointing that out. That they were that silly they didn't realize. Thank you. For a period of time up until the 12th, which is the 12th of July, the date, right? There is local band parades. So you will have a band from, say, Tandragee, and they will parade through Tandragee on a specific Friday night coming up to the 12th and things like that. And there's all these local ones that do be held. So people can go to them and all the rest of it. And it's their local parade. And the local area will maybe go to that. You'll have 5 or 6 parades, or 5 or 6 bands, and they'll parade. But then on the 12th, all the bands go to the location where it is being hosted that year. So on the 12th, you'll have maybe 40 or 50 or 60 or whatever bands.
It'd be cool if every year it was a surprise party. Like the city didn't know who was going to host it, and then just got sprung on. They're like, "Surprise! It's you!"
No, because there's all this organization that goes into it for people to arrive with like stalls. So you'll have stalls.
No, don't
selling...
piss on my dreams, man.
I have a question.
Okay.
Why don't the IRA just blow it up?
Because it's kids. It's mainly kids. They did that once. Well, yes, you bring your family. It's a family-orientated event. Rather, more so now. Hope it is aiming towards, especially the 13th. The 12th is always going to be a Protestant day, and have that connotation with it, as we explained earlier, Dave, with the impression. But the 13th is aiming that direction, and I don't know. I've lost
So if your family gets blown up, it's your fault, right?
No, but it's a family thing, all right? As terrorists are terrorists, I don't think they want to blow up families. They did that one time with the Oma bombing. They got really bad.
Yeah, they got a lot of shit for that.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of support.
Don't kill kids. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, God.
So you've got the 12th, but why not just make the 11th one later?
No, the 11th is the 11th night. Now, the 11th night is the bonfire. The 11th night is a different thing. The 11th night is the start of the season. That's it. Run away, pickle. The 11th night.
What date's the 12th on?
Go fuck yourself.
It's on the 12th. Who's on first?
Actually, last year it was on the 13th, I think it was. Because
Of course it was!
What the fuck?
Because it fell on a Sunday, right? You'll never parade on a Sunday. That's the only day they won't parade on a Sunday.
It's always on a 12th. Unless it's on a Sunday, then it's not on the 12th.
It's
and
on the
if it's
Monday,
the
which is
12th,
the
then it's
13th.
not the 12th
still called
because
the
it's
12th?
somewhere
And
else.
it's still called the 12th, yes. Even though it's on the 13th. And then the 13th will be held on the 14th. It all gets shifted along because it's a very religious thing as well. Like a friend
The
of
wandering
mine,
12th who doesn't
right?
like a Sabbath.
See, it gets even more complicated, right? You have the Orange Order over here, right? Which is not a flute band, right? The flute band is mainly made up of, the younger generation. And the flute band...
Flautist?
Pardon?
Flautist?
Loudest? What are you talking about?
Is it a flute band?
Flute band.
Yeah, so they're made up of
Like
flowers.
panpipes.
Oh, no, you've never seen a flute band. Oh, right, hold on. Right, we're going to do some copyright. We're going to get...
I don't like you now, Jim.
Oh, what? Oh, you mean the bagpipers?
Oh, no.
He's going to subject us. Ox says, and you all make fun of America.
Right. Oh, no, this is
Northern
insane.
Ireland.
This is Northern Ireland. It's insane over here. Right.
Because we make fun of the Irish as well.
There's great.
Yeah,
Sure,
we're equal opportunity haters.
We've got Tusk. Perfect Tusk. You slipped in just at the end. Tusk will know he's from Scotland.
Right, sorry. Listening to this is driving me fucking mad.
We have those here. That's we call that homecoming.
You're aware, Tusk, that we know what we're doing.
I know, but some of you do. Right.
Some of you do, but some of you clearly don't. Like you can't even get the flag right. Like nobody has a matching flag.
All right, who are we hiding? We're going to hide Jim because he's annoying me, and we're going to put the big screen over Jim, right?
My camera's not even on, so.
Right. This is...
Where are the flutes?
Give it a
A
fucking
random
minute.
baton girl in the back. She's like 4.
I used to see the photo of Elena with a fucking tiny little drum. He's already got her in drum.
She got one. She's only one.
She's running around screaming, "Kill all the Catholics!"
This is
The whole town turned up for this event. All 48 of them.
Oh, right. Well, if you want to see a big one, right, hold on, man. If you
I
want to see
think
a...
before
It's actually not that long. They're actually just like going around the block several times.
it's quite odd because all 48 of them turned out. That's also the number of teeth they have between them.
It was the toothbrush was invented there. If it was invented anywhere else, they call it a teeth brush.
Trying to see if I can find. Oh,
Not English pig.
You
Buying
realise-
Banbridge. It sounds or
if you play another one of those flip bands, I might
This-
just bust into.
right. There you go. There, this one here, right? This
Is that the
Right.
skin flute?
This is the big. Right, this would have been. I'm trying to find one where they get down under a bridge. So they can get
yeah, see the flautist. That's what I said. You're fucking flautist.
Yeah, there's nearly 40 fluters. That like it's size
Fluters?
matters. Size matters. Fluters. Please.
Flautist.
We have new musical instruments at school.
They don't even recognize the tune, Tusk. For fuck's sake, like
I know.
Well, which branch of military are they in?
they're not in any military.
The UDF.
Fuck off. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Right.
Yeah, they're the Red Hand Commandos.
I think this is the year that Dana stopped underneath. Now, Dana, right?
Oh, this is the one that Katniss Everdeen's from.
No, in all seriousness, right? I'm totally doxing myself here, but Dana is outstick to fucking nowhere. God knows he's not even be able to spell it properly because I couldn't even spell it. And that's where my fucking Maz family is from. And my uncle actually started the band.
Like, why couldn't they have like
Right, these are the orange
guitars?
men. Right?
Like,
See
why
these boys
flute?
with the sash? They're orange men who basically are religious Protestant fucking Bible bashing crazy motherfuckers.
Which is why they blow on phallic instruments.
Right? And the 13th is run by the black. Now the black is the orange
That
order.
sounds racist.
That sounds racist.
It's the black order, right?
Oh.
Are they black?
No, but they wore black sashes over wearing orange sashes.
Oh, so
Cultural
the
appropriation.
orange is the blackface?
Why do they wear orange ones under then?
Well, it's William of Orange.
Surprise!
William of Orange is why they were orange. The black order is just insane.
And then wait, William of Orange. So the Dutch.
The black one is William of Orange and blackface.
These are all just trying to annoy me now, specifically Dave Tusk. Have you anything you would like to add? I hope you are getting progressive.
No, I'm just trying to help you share your culture.
Spooky's asking where the bagpipes are.
There's no bagpipes yet. I haven't brought the bagpipes up.
No squeeze bags.
I just watching that.
Let's not
it seemed
mention
like-
squeezing bags. It's still early, okay?
You realise we could try and explain this to them for a year, and they still wouldn't get it.
You know what's funny is that I feel like I have a good understanding. I just like fucking with MathPig.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
No,
It's entertaining.
so talking about, like the 12th isn't the date. The 12th. The 12th is the name of the celebration. It's not.
Yeah, the
It's
12th
like-
is
it's
generally
like
held on
Easter
the 12th of July.
Or Halloween. Imagine it like that. Saying, "Oh, where are you having your Halloween this year?" It would be where's the 12th this year?
Yeah.
It would be where are you going for your 12th of July celebration? It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's not a date that moves around. The 12th is simply the name of the big parade.
Unless it's
Right,
a
I got you.
Sunday,
Which
in
is
which
generally
case it's on the
99%
13th.
of the time held on the 12th of July, except if it falls on a Sunday.
Yeah,
Unlike Halloween, which is always held on Halloween.
Halloween.
yeah. It's more like it's more. Yeah, but you say
Did you know it actually falls on the 13th this year? Friday the 13th.
well in Scotland, in certain places in Northern Ireland as well, they'll have the parade on the nearest Saturday to the 12th, just to confuse things a little more. So the 12th could be on the 9th.
Because it's a
You
Saturday.
got a really nice speaking voice.
But it's very, very rarely after the 12th. It's only been that one time because the 12th was a Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was too soon before to have it the Saturday.
yeah.
So
So what's the deal with wearing orange on St. Patrick's Day?
See,
You don't.
Right, this was funny. I had
The
this
Irish-
conversation with Manda not too long ago, right? And if you're having the fight in Northern Ireland in politics, it's green and orange, right?
Which is
But
really
Right,
weird.
yeah.
because
right,
Irish
that's great. No,
people do.
Tusk will
Because
understand
of
this,
the
right?
Protestants and the Catholics.
Right, Tusk will understand this. I'll say the whole thing, and he'll see why she was confused. Right, we were in a play park, and the play park was in a mixed area, but it was mainly red and blue. Right. Then we took us down there talking the conversation of colours and stuff. And if you go to where I grew up, the curbstones are painted red, white, and blue. But if you're talking political, they would be referred to as orange v green. But if you're down south and or if you're in a Catholic area, green, white, and orange means Catholic. So it depends where you are with the orange and the green, depending on what color it is on the curbs to tell you who is around you.
Oh yeah.
And she got completely confused, and Tusk understood the exact.
Yeah. And,
Right.
and just to confuse things even more, the orange men will wear red, white, and blue.
Yeah. And then if they get really better, they put on black.
They put on black,
Yeah. And they get swords.
Well,
It's
My
all-
friend's
it's-
actually in the
all-
Black Order. My friend that a lot of us here have talked to is actually in the Black Order. He sort of got conned into it because it's dying, and nobody wants to join it anymore because it's just a religious fucking madness. But he sort of got guilted into it by his dad because his granda was there and his dad was there, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know,
It's kind of like Gulliver's Travels when he's in Lilliput, where one political party has a heel higher than the other, or they wear their shirt collars slightly shorter. It's like, unless you know all the little intricacies and ins and outs, and more importantly, which area you're in. Like
Yes.
if you're wearing a green shirt and you go into certain areas, just change it. Take it off, walk around topless, don't wear it in there.
Yeah.
And same
yeah,
goes
it's like
for
wearing a red hoodie in crypt territory.
Yeah, if you walk through, if you're going to walk through a Bloods territory,
Well, that's what I
wearing
was
like
saying earlier.
blue or
Tusk.
something, same thing.
Yeah, if you had heard that earlier, whenever like we have a group of friends that's mixed, and we don't want them to miss out on the starting to drink at 10 o'clock in the
Oh
morning.
yeah, I heard
So,
that. Yeah. So you
we're
put in the
Rangers
first-
top, don't shout Chucky or La. Come with us, you're grand.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend. I say he's a friend. He's fucking nearly got me killed. It was Rangers were playing the local team, and just a small team, you know.
Yeah.
And in the Diddy leagues, and the team had a policy of opening the main gates 15 minutes before the final whistle to let people leave early to avoid traffic, which meant you could get in for the last 15 minutes of the game for free, you know. But it also meant if there was extra time or penalties, you got to see a whole hour of football. Absolutely fantastic.
Dang.
So the main gate was always in the away fans' end. So the place was full of Rangers fans, hundreds of them, thousands. And there was the railway bank on the other side, which overlooked the ground. So that was full of people, like bands and, big banners and everything. So I got in because I was only a boy at the time, maybe 9 or 10 years old. So they let us in. I'll let the boys in. You guys can stand on the hill.
Yeah.
And it's almost the final whistle. Everything's gone quiet. There's a free kick. And Alan Moore, because that was his name, stood up, pointed at me and went, "He's a Catholic!" and ran away.
Oh.
And left me standing in a crowd of about 4,000 Rangers fans.
Oh.
We all turned round and looked at me and went, "Oh." I was like, "Oh fuck! I've never run so fast in my life."
Oh, you would belt it. No, you would. You'd run like fuck. It is.
But when I ran out the gate, I realised that all I had done was run into more Rangers fans. I was probably safer in the ground.
I was security and stuff but
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how it was. It literally was, depending on where you were going. I don't want to make a reference to anything in America without sounding racist, but a white person in a black area or a black person in a white area back when it was bad is what it was like over here when we were young. Like, you just couldn't go to certain areas. Like,
Well, it's like you better know somebody. You better have business there. If you don't have business there, then you shouldn't be there.
I brought a Catholic girl out. I've said this before in the channel. We had a hut at the top of the hill from where he lived. It used to be my great uncle's where he kept the horses. He then got very old. He said we could use it for what we wanted, and we cleaned it out. We built a door for it. We put stone in the ground. We even bought a fucking second-hand single bed and a sofa and stuff and all, and we could hang out in it. And we were smoking and drinking and stuff. I brought a Catholic girl there, and it was found out that it was a Catholic girl brought there, and they burnt it to the fucking ground while they all sat around. The local flute band stood around with a carry-out and had a great night as if it was the 11th night bonfire and watched it burn to the fucking ground. And then, I could see it burning from my house,
Mm-hmm.
They found out that you and Father Pierce were shooting amateur porn in there.
No, she was definitely a girl. Definitely a girl.
Well,
She was clergy.
when I was a kid, we moved out of sold all the caravans, all the horses, moved into a house, and there was an area which is mainly Republican area, so that was okay. But we used to all sit around there's a wee kind of square thing, It was supposed to be a swing park for the kids, but they put the foundations down and nothing else. So there's some like bricks and some concrete. So we'd sit there, you know, just chatting, whatever we were doing, singing rebel songs and all the rest of it,
Oh, yeah.
and say, "Oh, we're going up to see like whoever it was in the nearest kind of safe area," which was, as the crow flies, probably about 2 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
But we couldn't go as the crow flies. We had to walk all the way around because we couldn't go through 2 or 3 areas because they were mainly Protestant areas, and they knew who we were from school and like army cadets and all that sort of thing. So to get somewhere which would have taken us about half an hour, it was a fair walk. You know, you had to go the long way around. There was a couple of neutral places, wee retirement places in between, so you were safe in there. But you had to it was a fucking running the gauntlet getting there.
I fucking tell you, that's the same what we would refer to here as Derry Beg, man. And if you went out from where the taxi stand was, the taxi would say to you on a Saturday night, right, it's going to be 3 hours till you get a taxi. You could walk from where that taxi stand was to my house in about an hour and a half. Now, as the crow flies, about 45 minutes. But it would take about an hour and a half to walk there pissed, right? So you'd go.
It'd be so much quicker if y'all would stop using the metric system.
Right? Fuck off. So we're just like, right, if it's going to be anything more than 2 hours, we just would generally walk, you know, because you'd sober you up and all the rest of it. And I've mentioned this, I think, story to Dave before. A friend of mine's wee daughter was drunk on a Boxing night or Christmas night or something like that, and I walked her home. And she was pissed, and she took the wrong right and walked through fucking Derry Beg. Now, there was only maybe 30 minutes of going through it, and it did take some time off our journey, but the whole time I'm just like, need to get the fuck up this hill and get the fuck past that 30-foot tricolour, because we need to get the fuck out of here. Like.
Yeah. For us, it was like when you walked down through one particular area, it wasn't until you seen the paint on the flyover, the mural that said "Welcome to Provo Land." That's when you were safe. Once you were on the other side of that flyover, you were fine. Yeah. Until then, you were fair game.
Leanna was in the car with me like two or 3 weeks ago when I could before I had it, and we were driving through Newry, and she's like, "Look, Daddy, there's a park. Can we go there?" And I was like, "No, honey, we're not welcome there. Not allowed to. We're going to this other park."
Dang. So it was like prison without the bars. Like,
no, saying that the entire park in fucking Derry Beg has a giant 30-foot fence around it with a fuck off massive tricolour at the top of it, and all their play park stuff's green, white, and gold, like green, white, and orange, whatever you want to call it.
So you guys don't all shower together? That's not true.
Depends.
Depends on.
It's still to this day is certain areas. Like there's a play park in Newry, which would be the local town to where I grew up, and it's named after an IRA man that was killed.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was named after somebody named Park.
No, it's named after a terrorist. It's named after someone who killed people, and he was killed. So
yeah, we've got.
Wait, they named it after a terrorist?
Oh yes,
like Bin Laden Park.
Basically, man.
Heroes of the Revolution.
Heroes of the Now, in saying that, I can understand.
Oh, okay, so more like an El Chapo.
Yeah, if you want to become immortal in Ireland, perform some heroic or idiotic task for either side, and your name will be in song in streets and parks.
Anybody here who's got another tab open, right? Look up the Hermitage Bar in Newry. Do you know the Hermitage Bar in Newry, Tusk?
Yep.
Everybody knows that you can become a deity by getting a blowjob from
the Hermitage Bar.
No, you're making a joke. Go look up what happened in the Hermitage Bar. Right?
The Hermitage Bar in Newry is like the Loudon Bar in Glasgow.
Do you know what's funny now, man? The Hermitage Bar in Newry, that building has been turned into an ice cream bar, okay? And I went in there when I was younger, after what had happened and stuff, and I got fucking patching behind the bar and everything. They lit it and all for you. It was like a show, right? Complete this sort of set, and it's now a fucking ice cream bar or a shop, and I was in it there not too long ago, and there's kids going, "I want the strawberry ice cream," and I'm like, "You're 15 foot from where 6 men walked in with automatic rifles and just gunned a man down." Like,
yep.
Damn.
They don't know, which is good, but it's
yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, we had them in
wait. So what was it when they shut the place up?
It was the Hermitage Bar for years afterwards. It just got closed down for a wee while, and then people started to not go to it. So then the building.
The fire.
Hold on, I'll put it up here. I'm really bad at spelling. And
You talking about the ice cream wars?
No,
that was in Glasgow. I had a few people I knew from family who were involved in that. That was mad.
That's crazy, man. You could hear him coming.
That's what the bar looked like. I don't know if I can.
Like, oh no, the monkey's chasing the weasel again.
I can't know if you can make it any bigger. Yeah. 2 men entered the Hermitage bar and shot Speedy Fagan 9 times in the head and 6 times in the arms and chest in 1999.
Jeez, excessive.
Oh man, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And kids are now going into that shop and ordering ice cream.
Somebody snitched.
It's it's good that they don't know, but it's just like, fuck me, you know. Hi, Oz, thanks for coming.
That was deliberate for sure. Like they wanted him dead.
Oh yeah, he definitely was wanted to be a dead man. There was no.
It's like maybe it was just like a random act of violence.
no random.
Hey, just you mentioned the ice cream van wars. Is this something you actually know about, or is it just?
Yeah. No, I know a little bit about it. I don't know a whole lot about it.
It was a tough war for drug dealers. They used to
Well, they were using the ice cream vans to like move the drugs and stuff. And
I did hear about that. Yes, you buy an ice cream with a pill in the bottom of the cone.
Yeah,
there were code words. If you knew the code words, you could go to the ice cream van and say a double nugget with an extra flake, and that was like a 10 bag, a heroin or whatever it was. And it was a huge amount of money because it was like all around the east end of Glasgow, which is a serious heroin problem at the time. And there was literally like a war. Like an ice cream van would pull up, you'd run out to get a cone, and then they would come with a shotgun and blow the windscreen out.
Yeah, and I think there's like an apartment building where like a whole family was staying in several units, and they burned the whole thing down.
Yeah, there was the Campbells and Joe Bananas and
Campbell's. That's it. Yeah,
lunatics. Just people who had no regard for their own personal safety or anybody else's. And they were absolutely insane. The whole place was like so dangerous. Like, you didn't dare go to an ice. You hear the bells of the ice cream van. You go, ice cream. Like, no, just no.
Thank you very much, Secular Pagan Mum, for your Unicorn 140.
No, it's bad for you. It's really bad for you.
Oz, what are you thinking of all this mad Northern Irish sort of culture that's happening today?
Well, being in the States.
Wait, what are they doing?
Well, today's the 12th. We had this conversation. Shut up.
So they just play flutes. That's it.
13th is happening.
Pardon?
They just play flutes.
No, that's tomorrow.
No, that's today. Tomorrow is the same, but for local and run by the Black. Totally different.
And tomorrow you cover it up and turn around.
You're confusing Oz, right? Thank you for joining Oz. I think this is the first time you've been on, so I appreciate it, man.
Not a problem. No, I know very little about it, and I thought I was getting a grasp, but yeah, now I'm more confused.
If you're listening to us, I'm not surprised.
I feel like this is the Irish equivalent of a snipe hunt.
Yeah, to make it even
speaking of
more
Irish, Nerdy, can I pop you in the background for a wee bit just to bring in Stephen? Because Stephen's here and he's got the southern point of view. He's from the real south, so to speak. Would that be okay?
Do it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
From South Island?
He has the lyrical Irish accent
Right,
as
so
opposed to the...
Stephen's from the south, I'm from the north. The 12th isn't as big down the south, but they do still have it as a main holiday, Stephen, just not the 13th. Does that be right?
I don't actually really think it is that much of a holiday, actually, to be totally honest with you. It's not really like if it is, like, it's not kind of like, I don't know how to kind of describe it, like, culturally recognized,
Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, kind of. You know, it might be a holiday, but nobody really kind of talks about it. That kind of thing.
The 12th and the connotations and stuff and all.
Oh yeah. I know the reasons, like why it is. It's just not a thing here. That's all.
From the real Ireland looking at it, you just think we're all
yes. From actual Ireland, yeah.
Actual Ireland.
Well, it's a running joke because I'm in the north and I'm part of British rule. Although I would consider myself Northern Irish.
Yeah.
Over British.
I bet your blood's half Murphy's, huh?
Well, my blood's like that. I don't know if anyone Tusk knows this. Tusk, me and Jim just randomly was talking one night, and it turns out his family left Scotland the same time that my family left Scotland. Only my family went to the north of Ireland, and his family went where he is. And our tartans are very similar, if not the exact same.
Yeah, it was the same clan going back to before the Balweary.
Well,
Oh, he's
when
like
your
my
family, when
seventh
your
cousin
family's left
removed.
Scotland for Ireland, my family probably left Ireland to come to Scotland, and exactly the
Yeah.
opposite. We probably passed you on the way.
Well, I can trace my family all the way back to Utretus Filius Scott. Back when they spelled it with just one T.
Well, we tried to trace. Now you do that. I forgot what it's called now. The family tree thing.
Aye.
You pay money for it. It's like 20 quid. Or
It was like $300.
Yeah, and we tried to do our family tree, but because we are Anlochshul, we got as far as my great granny Grace, and that's it.
Because it was made
There's
up.
Yeah, there's no records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
you know.
I got
The
really
only
lucky.
The only thing we know, because there's a prison record, would be my great great grandfather, who was exiled for. He was a sheep rustler, and he was exiled,
really?
and he went to London, but he wanted to get back, so he bought papers, like a passport, a stolen passport, to get back into the country. But it was a policeman's passport that had been stolen, and he tried to get back into Ireland with a stolen policeman's passport and got 6 months in jail, and then exiled again when he was let out.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a shout out to how much tech we talk on this channel. Right reaction, is this an atheist channel or a tech one? It's a discussion platform merely than anything. I am an atheist agnostic, or it's a whole long conversation, but sometimes when we ramble, we do tech talk. If you need any advice or help, we're open for that as well. So
My family left Scotland the generation before King James V, but the part of the family that stayed there, like the part of the clan that stayed there, was like I guess I'm distantly related to Mary Queen of Scots. That line.
Aquilman, in all honesty, I think if you go back far enough, everybody's fucking royalty. It's
Yeah, I think if I
amazing
go back a few generations, I'm related to Cleopatra.
Which one? Which one? There's like 7 of them.
Yeah, the fourth.
Oh, the sexy one.
I don't know. I just made that up. You know, if you go back far enough, you know, when it was. Well, I suppose it's different in Scotland and Ireland because we were more isolated. But I think if you go
1,000
back
years,
far
I think
enough,
everyone's related.
yeah, you don't have to go
years
back.
ago,
Yeah, Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah. 1,000 years
Yeah,
about the
well-
rough time, and yeah, or 1400, I think it is, something like that. You end up everybody's fucking related to the same person.
Yeah.
You know, they tell you about Adam and Eve. What they don't tell you is about the pole boy that God made Eve.
What was that?
The pole boy. You know, you had to have some genetic diversity. So God made Eve a pole boy.
Oh, you get like a Mexican pool boy to come in.
It's all gone.
Well,
taken.
it's a little stereotypical, but his name was Carlos. But yeah,
Well, I've
This
never,
sounds like the
never
start of a
having
porn fucking video. What's happening now? Like,
never having had a pool boy.
what happened was
Really
cut off
fucking-
jean shorts.
You really
That's what
should.
happened.
I was just trying to find out what the
Fuck.
crack is with Oz, and you all just tucking into the gutter, like, you know.
Well, your crack and my crack are two different things. So make up your mind.
Oz, how would you like it to be in the gutter?
Well, I do have a question. So while you guys are talking, I to try to gain some more clarity, how to celebrate this day. Just tell me if this is true. Light a bonfire,
That was last night,
Beat-
but yes.
That was yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
beat a lambic drum,
Oh,
and where
yes.
You meant
That's
to
Irish for mother-in-law.
No, a lambag,
And-
a lambeg. It's pronounced lambeg.
And
and then-
your accent.
and then wear a silly costume.
Yes.
There is pictures of me with a fucking giant. I should actually go get my 12th top hat. It's not too far.
Every video you show was chock
You
full of
have the
silly
hat with a
uniforms.
big fucking
Were
skewer.
you not wearing it today?
No, it was not, man. No, it was not.
Why were you not? You've got the damn thing. If you're not going to wear it, what's the point in having it? One day a year you get to wear it.
Yeah, the 13th tomorrow.
Yeah.
I thought it was for the 12th.
The fuck the 12th. The 12th is going. Even the statistics are showing people are coming down. But yes, the lambeg drum is a goat skin. It's very, very difficult to play the lambeg drum because the actual the sticks that you play with, it's not like a bass drum where they're solid. They actually are bendy, so you really need to have rhythm to play the lambeg drum. And if you if you actually look at a lambeg drum, you'll have similar pictures that will go down the front of it for everyone to look at. But the actual way that the rope is tied, I think it's down the right hand side. Is it, Tusk?
I don't know.
The way that the rope is actually tied down the right hand side, that donates the area, the county of where you're from as well. The guy that I've shown you pictures of the school where I went to, Dave, yeah, and you've seen a house right beside it. That house, the guy in there actually makes lambeg drums.
Of course, it's going to be hard. You got to keep up with the goat.
Geo wants a picture of your bollocks.
Nobody wants to see a picture of my bollocks. Last weekend I think 20 people at least seen my fucking balls. There's more.
I'll just send it to your OneDrive. It exceeds the file limit.
For the people who don't know if you do or not, always, but my wee girl kicked me between the legs and I ended up in hospital for about fucking 3 days in total. So that's why he mentioned the balls.
Did they swell up on you?
Till about 4 times the size at the peak.
Oh man, I had a friend.
I left in A&E for about 16 hours before they decided I needed a specialist and had to move me to another hospital, and then another fucking guts of 3.5 hours waiting on an ambulance that didn't turn up. So I lied and told them my mother was lifting me and just got into my own car and drove to the other hospital.
We were breaking horses one year, me and a friend of mine on my grandpa's ranch, and he got kicked by a mare square on in the balls, and it was awful. And like it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's like 2 hours from the hospital or whatever. So he's like, trying to tough it out or whatever. He says, I'm going to go inside. So he goes inside and we're, putting up the horses and everything. It was like, calling it a day. We're like, that's bad juju. We're just going to stop this. And we go in, and as I get to the door, I hear him screaming and it getting louder, and I walk in, and apparently he had sat down to take a shit and his balls had swollen up and he had stuck himself to the toilet seat. His balls on the other side. Man,
I was sitting like a fucking feet up in the air like a pig stick cutting it. It's not nice. It's not nice. It's not nice.
No, it's not. It looked like he was sitting on a freaking those little red balls with a handle the little kids bounce around on.
Like a space hopper. That South Park episode. Yeah. That was me. The South Park episode.
Do you know I almost got kicked out of uni because of a space hopper?
Oh.
We were doing it was a thing about just to prove that people blindly obey a sign without questioning it. It says on a sign it must be official. So I made a few up. It said free space hopper with every large coffee. On a particular date because a Costa had opened up downstairs, or Starbucks, I can't remember. No, it was Costa. And I put them all around the university at night when everybody had left. And the next day I come down and there was people arguing in the coffee place demanding their free space hopper because they'd bought a large coffee. And like, the staff were saying, we don't have any space hoppers. What are you talking about? So the people had these signs. So they looked on the CCTV, didn't they? And they see me wandering around, putting these signs up on all the notice boards. But it was lucky that my dean of the law school was on my side and said no, it was he lied and said he'd planned it with me just to show how people will obey a sign without question and assume if it's in black and white, it must be true.
If anybody in the actual hangout here, all 6 on the panel, and I think there's 2 people now waiting in the background, there is a new link in the chat, in the private chat, if everyone can see that. If everybody could click that one, we'll bump from 6 to a 10 hangout, because there's people waiting in the background. I had no idea that we were going to have such an interest, but if everybody could just click that, then we can have the other people who are waiting in the background, if that's okay with the people on the panel, and if we can have thank you for some patience with the people in the audience. So everybody will see you in that link. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Literally, the time it takes people to click that link. Oh, is that alright? Just click that link, it'll take you to another place, alright?
In law? Wow, that's even more impressive.
No, it's not. It's really boring. It's just verbatim regurgitating. It's just.
Was it 5 years?
7 it took me.
7?
I had to take a year out. I did 4 years.
It took me 6. I thought I was going to get it done in 4,
but I did my undergrad, did my master's, took a year out, did my diploma in legal practice, and then did my PhD in SAMMY.
well, with breaks and all, I've got without breaks, kind of without counting my breaks, I've got nearly right at 10 years from start to finish.
Yeah, hard work, eh? And that's what I say. It's so infuriating when you come up against someone like a Somerset. When I know the law, no, you fucking don't. You don't know a
That's how I feel talking
thing.
to Christians.
There we go. Everybody's back again. That didn't take too long. Thank you very much all for moving across. I think we lost Nerdy and we lost Dave, which means we don't even need the 6-person hangout anymore. Oh, we got Dave back.
Do you know your camera's on, Tusk?
Thank you, MathPig.
No, thank you for joining, Lisa. This was just random bullshit. I didn't actually expect to have that many people that would want to jump in, so we loaded it on mine. Dave has access to 10, so we just jumped across. So all going well for the audience. They shouldn't have seen much of an issue. And yeah. Thank you all for coming back.
Well, I just
came
in.
Like very, very quickly, just to Tusk and to Jim. Every time that I open up TikTok, yes, I know TikTok, whatever. If I scroll for long enough, there was this event or this like scene that was caused in Ireland, in actual Ireland, a little while ago. That was there was some woman. She's basically our version of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's like completely like anti-vax, anti-masker, anti-everything, right?
So is that her that told the Taoiseach to go drive a bus?
I don't know that she's the same person.
She's talking about the Jewish space lasers.
Oh, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah. So this person in Ireland, she was going into this she's running for office here, right? Which is scary. But she was going into this government building or something like that. And obviously with government buildings, even though there's not an official mask mandate here, you do have to wear a mask. And there was 5 or 6 guards that were outside the building. And they wouldn't let her in, and she kept trying to push past and stuff like that. And then she started citing off, her layman's understanding of the law to an Irish Gardaí. Now, the difference between police in the States and in Ireland, you have to go to college for 4 to 5 years, I think it is, to just actually study law to be a guard here. So it's not, just a rudimentary understanding.
As you should.
100%. But the point is, she then tried to do a citizen's arrest of a guard. The funniest thing that you could, because now come quietly. She was look, it takes a lot for me to praise a guard, but she was kind of starting to say she was right up in his face, and obviously he was wearing a mask and she wasn't, and she was what are you afraid of? And he just went, well, I don't much like spiders, if I'm being honest. It was perfect. It was just a hat off to him. Sorry.
I don't mean to be ethnocentric or anything like that, but I thought only Americans were that stupid.
It's not. So we tend to kind of hide our stupid, you know what I mean? We have village idiots. Every county in Ireland, every county in England has their village idiots. Yep. It's just the point is that our village idiots are standing in a park shouting at pigeons. Yours was president. So that's the difference between, you know what I mean? It's just put your village idiot right out there in the public eye.
Actually, our president isn't the village idiot anymore.
Well, anymore. Yeah, I said was president.
he's not the village idiot anymore, but he's one of them. I'm glad the Democrats won and everything, but I'm really Joe Biden's the best you guys could come up with.
But speaking of the past, the village idiot, going after him Al Capone style. Thank goodness somebody's trying to get that friggin' idiot in prison where he belongs.
Yeah, I hear the Trump-tanic hit a Heiselberg.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a bad joke.
No, it's fine. I got the reference. It's okay.
And you know, a lot of people, not me, but I have heard that a lot of people are taking bets on who's going to flip first, Ivanka or the kids.
Probably whoever's the most flexible.
Ivanka.
Dave screaming from the background. That's what I was doing, Dave. I've now got control, so if you're cool if you need to do anything.
That makes sense.
So how about those Lambeck drums?
Lambeck
Yeah.
drums. Yes, they are very good, man. Honestly, it's
I
They're
still don't
very
understand
cool.
though. Like,
They're really
do you have the goat on a leash or are you chasing it?
well, it depends. If you went and joined Bana's band, you had to you had to buck the goat. That was we'll not even talk about that.
That's why you guys wear those tall boots.
I'm trying to find, right. I'll see if I can find. Hello, RSEC.
Oh, hello, that's right reaction in the chat. Hello. I should change my name.
Are you in the toilet?
Oh, no, I'm not. It's my audio bad.
Oh no, it's just slightly echoey.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just fix this. Sorry about
It sounds like you're streaming from a very luxurious bathroom.
Yeah.
Like marble countertop.
Like, why was bathroom the go-to thing? Jesus Christ, like.
Because it was echoey, and he's not going to be in a hall, like a concert hall.
Yeah, yeah.
There's more
Everybody's
chance of
got
being in
everybody's got a bathroom. We didn't expect
that.
you.
No, I've just got very tall ceilings right now. So
This is
yeah.
Lambeck drums.
There's tall seating in my
I find
bathroom.
having tall ceilings reduces the echo.
So the goat's inside?
No, that's the goat skin.
Hey,
Quite a big goat.
What you do
why
is
aren't
when
they wearing kilts? I want
They're
to see
practicing.
kilts, man.
That's Scottish.
Well,
This is Ulster
well,
Scots. This is different.
So they can spend all that time making those beautiful drums, but they can't make a drumstick. They just like pick up some branch
it's
off
a
the
special type
highway.
of drumstick that's flexible and stuff, man.
That's not special. It's a stick.
No, look at the size of the fucking things compared to people. They're insane.
She said.
Get Elena to play one.
As a pretty experienced drummer, I'll say they suck.
yeah. I'd say so too. They can't concentrate on the rhythm. They're just like waiting for the moment that they can put the drum
if
down.
we're gonna do that right there, what's that band? Tusk may know of it. Oh, the Scottish band.
If you play it backwards, it sounds just as shitty as it does forwards.
They play on the streets. The guys got
they're called Clanadonia.
Clanadonia. There you go. You knew exactly. There you go. We'll give them some good, decent sort of upbeat. Yeah.
Put in Hamsterhead.
Yeah, it's. I like Turbach more.
Oh, okay.
But we'll go with Hamsterhead. Right. Oh, we get it right. We get it right.
Yeah.
Why?
So
Is that
she
Irish
wanted
dubstep?
kilts. She wanted kilts.
Some Irish dubstep.
These are proper kilts, not the dress kilt you will find in a higher
Hey,
store.
Fabio.
Oh no, this is
Hi,
the
Fabio.
proper kilt. This isn't a full kilt.
Enjoying? Yeah! I said, are you enjoying? Yeah! You want more?
Do you have any crack?
You want more?
Man, I've seen these people play at a wedding, right? And this guy went out and grabbed the mother-in-law off the main table and made her fucking dance around the whole room. Like, he is full of beans.
Man, I bet he smelled like the inside of a microwave.
I've got a question for real Scotsman.
What you doing?
Audience participation. Right?
What are we doing? Methamphetamine.
Like, okay, I got a question.
She's got questions.
Please. Yeah, I got a
I know
question.
there'd be homework.
Like, you know, for real Scotsman, because I'm just a dumb American, you know. Do Scotsmen really not wear any underwear?
Oh, yeah.
under their-
Well, underwear is a relatively new invention.
The only
Okay.
thing that touches the goodies is God's blue bear. That's it.
See, what you have to remember, especially in at the times where kilts were worn every day, we didn't have material to waste on things like underpants. It was expensive and hard to weave and bloody itchy. You know, it was tweed.
And then they picked the national plant of thistle.
Yeah.
Kilts used to be a top and a bottom cover, and your blanket, and your pillow.
No, those the drummer with the SAMMY on the left hand side. He does have a full kilt, but he's got it down over his waist. And your man.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, he does have the full.
I can see it now, hanging off the back.
Yeah, the kilts you see on ceremonial kilts are essentially skirts.
But wait, is that an open tartan or?
No, that's I think that's their own tartan.
Okay, I always see that one or the blue and red one. Not the Pride of Scotland.
Yeah. Well, there are a few tartans that are kind of general use. But everybody can at some point trace their history back to the Campbells or
Totally
the
getting
Cameron.
copyright strike for all of this. You look very smooth-faced, Fabian.
They can't afford shoes. They're going to get a copyright strike.
They're outside. They're in Perth. It's like it was some kind of function, but they couldn't play inside. They had to stand outside in the car park.
There's outside of their apartment complex.
No, it's a conference centre, I think.
Okay.
And
the guy on the right looks like Dr. Josh.
20 points to anybody other than MathPig and Stephen who can pronounce the name of the song they were playing.
What, pull it up again?
Oh, you motherfuckers.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just all
How do you
funny.
spell it?
I asked people online last week to spell to pronounce Sioban Tusk. That was funny.
Oh, do you know what? When I was growing up, I had a friend called Shiv, and he spelled it, SDHBH, and it just like pronounce that, and they're like, what the fuck does that even say? And my name's Shiv. That doesn't say Shiv. Yes, it does. It says Sibidibi.
Wait, what did you say?
Do you know how the bagpipes began?
Yeah, a man
with bags and pipes.
Thank you for joining, Fabio. Is that a shield top you're wearing, Fabio?
You're muted.
Yes. No, I know it was muted because it's loud outside. What did you say?
I said you're looking very baby-faced, and also, is that a shield top you're wearing?
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Is it Tabarda?
Speaking of Marvel, the last 2 days I've been that bored. I've been watching fucking Iron Fist. Someone kill me, please.
Have been watching what?
Iron
I have
Fist.
a link to that video that I was
Iron
talking about
Fist?
in the shared
Okay.
screen thing.
Is that a robot?
Only
porn?
if you want to pull that up now.
Sorry, Stephen, I cannot see the private chat. Oh, let me check the sidebar. Oh, I can.
Yeah, Iron Fist is really terrible. I mean, it's
Fucking... Oh, no, I can't, Stephen. It cut off. Dave posted it. Said play this one, MathPig. Dave, post it again to me on Twitter, please, and I'll see it there. Yeah, no, it is absolutely awful. Acting, the martial arts, the everything about it.
I totally agree with you. It's wow.
I just hit the second series, and I'm giving it a chance to see how it
Yeah.
goes. And thank fuck there's only 2 seasons, because if it doesn't get any better.
I mean, with the second season, you won't be disappointed. Meaning that if you thought the first one was shite, the second would be shite too. So no disappointment there.
just don't get your expectations up.
Oh no!
Yeah,
no,
I mean
man,
that's the standard, you know.
Yeah, I have no expectations. The first episode felt like should have been the last episode. Even the way they've laid out it's awful. I'm just watching it because I haven't seen it and sort of feel the need to if you're going to watch all of the Marvel sort of thing.
It's really bad.
It's like when you find out that it's movie day at school, but it's Grapes of Wrath.
A movie day for us was fucking probably what do you call that woman that went with the guy that had 2 kids and the crazy wife on the roof?
My mother?
No. Dave, come on, Stephen. Reading in GCSE.
Rita Sue and Bob too?
No, Lord something, lady something.
Something.
Stephen or Dave.
I wasn't Lady Shatterley's
Okay,
lover.
I admit, right? This is how Dave will know. Dave will get it now, right? Voyager did an episode on it, and Catherine was the person who moved in. Catherine, as in the captain of the Voyager, she went and looked after a boy and a girl. And
You're talking about Wuthering Heights?
No.
I know the episode you're thinking of. I've no idea what it's based on.
That's based on a book.
Is it?
Yes.
He was the governor in a house.
Something Lady EYRE. Oh, this is English GCSE shit.
Jane Eyre.
Jane Eyre. Thank you very much.
Oh, of course. Right.
Oh, the American got it. Suck it, Scotties.
I was just going to say, I posted an Irish first name into the private chat. I want everybody who's not like Irish or like Scottish or English to just try and pronounce that.
Oh, I've already cheated. Sorry.
Am I allowed to, or is it?
I think if you even spelled it,
I think
still gonna say it wrong. Tusk still gonna say it wrong.
Tyga.
Not a million miles away.
Well, I won't pronounce it. I'll give the others a chance first, but
okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna give it one shot.
I'm saying that I can't even say for talk's sake that I'm 100% sure. I'm thinking in my head a name I've heard but not seen the spelling of. Again, okay. I'm in fake Ireland. I'm in fake Ireland, and I'm a Protestant in fake Ireland. So I only know.
MathPig's over there going, "What's that first letter again?"
I didn't go. What is that place that you have down south that all us real Republican fucking parents up here send their kids to? You only speak Irish the entire time you're there.
Oh, the Gaelscock.
Gaeltacht. Aye.
Gaeltacht. Sorry. Yeah. Gaeltacht.
I didn't go to the Gaeltacht. Sorry.
You're talking about Boston.
So I gotta ask you something. Do the Scottish use the same alphabet we do? Like I know Welsh. You know, like there's a town called Drumtrap.
I think you're asking the question wrong, Lisa. I think the question should be, when you're speaking Gaelic, do you use the different language, do a different alphabet to when you speak Scottish trying to be English?
Yeah, you can't pronounce Gaelic or Gaelic phonetically the way you can with English most of the time. We use the same alphabet, but we do have different accents and fadas.
Yeah, we fadas and accents and stuff.
Yeah.
So Scottish is a Gaelic language?
Sorry?
Scottish is a Gaelic language?
No, it's Celtic.
Celtic. Oh, that's way different then.
Yeah, Scottish Gaelic is different from Irish Gaelic.
And the Italian garlic is different again.
Very Gaelic, yeah. It's in Scotland, and especially in Wales and Scotland. I don't know how it is in Ireland just now, but there's been a push to bring back the language. I'm one of the few people I know that can speak any Gaelic at all.
Oh, they're fighting the bullshit over here, man, at the minute, because the Irish language is starting to die out, right? And as the Irish language stands, again, you know, Protestant piss is sitting it there with the red, white, and blue, rubbing it in with everyone, you know. But the Irish language should be maintained, I do believe. Same as the Welsh language should be maintained, and the Scottish language should be maintained. We even have signs that are written in Irish. You know, over here, it's like a big thing with the Good Friday Agreement.
That's what I was about to ask. All of our train stations have the English and the Gaelic.
If you go to a Catholic town, you'll get the Irish. It sort of comes down to depends where you are.
There is something in common. There is something in common between the Irish language and the Scottish language.
Yes.
Yes, the Irish came here about in the 14th century, and what's developed from the Irish.
I understand. That's one thing. You know, the thing I was referring to is that you cannot properly speak Irish or Scottish unless you're drunk, and I mean piss drunk.
Right, and then it's even more complicated, Fabio, right? Because people, the whole thing about Northern Ireland, at least if I can say this, the whole thing that they're fighting about in Northern Ireland at the minute, right, is it's a split government, as in you have Republicans and you have, you've got Sinn Féin, you've got the DUP. So you've got Republicans and you've got loyalists, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. And the Republicans are pushing for the Irish language to be taught in schools the way French and Spanish and stuff and all is over here. And the DUP, who would be the Protestant side, is you're not teaching my Protestant kids Irish, right? So like if they want to do that, then you have to teach them Ulster Scots. Now the Ulster Scots language is not a language, it's a fucking dialect. It's English with some Scottish twang and some words that people don't understand. It's not a language.
That is a huge can of worms.
Yes, well, man, I am an Ulster.
I mean the difference between a dialect and a language.
Right. Yes. Well, I'm an Ulster Scot.
Luck with that.
I'm an Ulster Scot, all right? And I'm telling you right now, and I'm not educated in this, there is obviously a language with certain words and things like that that can be pushed, but it's not used, all right? You're not going to see it in signs. It's not as important. What has become Ulster Scots is more of a dialect and how local people would talk on a certain amount of words and stuff. We've accumulated the language into the English language and sort of downgraded it to a dialect. The thing what they're trying to do is push and keep it and give it the importance that the Irish language has. And it doesn't have the importance that the Irish language has. It really doesn't. It shouldn't be a fighting thing. When they're pushing it forward for schools, make it a 3 to 4 o'clock program, make it voluntary. If the kids want to stay on and learn the Irish language, like they're allowed to, they can, it's there. And if they don't, they move away. There should be no push to learn Ulster Scots, and I say that as someone who is descended from Scotland.
There's a similar push. Well, it's kind of died off now. In Scotland, we have English, obviously, Gaelic, and Doric. And Doric is an old Scots, but it kind of got co-opted into English. So Doric is like Ulster Scots. It's English with its own slang, essentially.
Like it can be classed as a language because it is what it started as, but as it goes around now, you are not going to see people fighting in the streets to say, I am fighting to maintain the language and this, and I want it in signs for Ulster Scots. It just is slang words, as you say, man, and this, that, and the other, and local terms for local things. It's been accumulated, where the Irish language is a completely different thing that is dying out. Languages evolve. They change over time. Italian used to be fucking, what do you call it? It's dead.
Latin?
No, Latin. I think Italian started off as Latin. Yeah, Latin just changed over time without leaving Italy, where when Latin moved to other places, it can evolve into different languages. You know, languages evolve, and Ulster Scots has evolved into a fucking dialect, and that's what it is. The Irish language is dying out.
Irish goes,
Ulster Scots is kind of close to Cajun in the Hillbilly, where the Scots went to the mountain regions, the Ozarks, and developed their own language, but it's essentially English at its core.
As far as the Irish goes and the like Scottish Gaelic, like I know that like one was developed from, and the other one might have been influenced from Pictish.
But we don't have any. Ogham is more closely more correct than Pictish. Ogham was we don't have any. We don't have any
linguistic remnants, though. We don't have the modern language, whether Scottish Gaelic or Irish.
The thing is, we don't know because Ogham was a written language, and we have no idea how it was pronounced. It was mainly used as.
What about Pictish?
There is no such language as Pictish. What the language the Picts used was Ogham, which is more like hieroglyphs or not pictograph. It's more hieroglyphs.
But is it Germanic?
No, it's
okay. So I thought Pictish was Germanic.
No.
Looking into the evolution of Hebrew there as well and Aramaic and stuff, man, it was the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I got that.
They would speak one language and they were writing another, and then I think it's the Aramaic or the Hebrew or whatever. It evolved its own actual alphabet, which is based on another one.
But the thing about the Pictish language is it got what's what I'm looking for?
Celtic or
no? When the Irish came way back like 1,000 years ago, if the Picts and the Irish obviously mixed and bred and formed, so any remnants of the Pictish language has been lost completely because Scots and Irish are so closely related that to try and pick it apart and find any outside influence would be near impossible. And people have spent their entire life trying to decipher Ogham and give it to try and pronounce what it would be. Now, it's essentially like one straight line down with marks coming off left or right will denote letters, but we can only use the Latin alphabet. We don't know what the letters actually were. So if we see a sign for, like Anskur, which is like a big mountainous rock, we can say, okay, that's Anskur. So we assume if that's SKUR or SGUR, depending where you are, and we transpose that and say, okay, there's that same mark, that's a G, but they didn't use the same alphabet, so you can't really do that. It's just for convenience for scholars, but we've got no idea what the language actually sounded like.
Well, I know that like some clans actually came from, like, especially the northern clans, they came
When you're
from.
finished there, if you can keep it short there, Jim, let Lisa have a wee talk as well then.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Oh no, finish what you're saying. I'm not that ignorant. I'm not Fabio.
Oh, okay. I was just saying that I know that like the Scots, for example, the ancestry that I can date back farthest to Uhtred Filius Scott, he is said to have come from the Picts. So I don't know if there was any like linguistic remnants that came over from the tribes that did come from them.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Picts are near mythical. We're not even sure they even existed. So it may be that it is a fabrication, a lot of the clan history is a fabrication of the romanticization of Scotland during Victorian times.
That's the 11th century is when Uhtred Filius Scott was.
Yeah, but what I mean is it was around that time is when the empire started really kind of finding its way into Scotland. So
Gotcha.
A lot of people spoke English by force or from necessity, but the further north you went, they spoke Gaelic or whatever, Doric or Scots. So, but those languages evolved completely independently of outside influence up until that point. But then they were subsumed by the English language and the Irish. So there's no way of telling what comes from where anymore, unfortunately.
Okay, Stephen Ryan, I'll take you up on your challenge, and you are more than welcome to laugh your fucking asses off, because I'm probably going to mispronounce it.
All right.
I'm gonna guess. Duh.
No,
Yeah,
no, that is not. So that is.
Stephen, put them all out of the misery.
Sound like you're choking on something.
I was going to say, I hope you're all right,
It's
darling.
pronounced,
D, you're on, but I
pronounced
can't
Tig.
actually see you, D. Just to let you know, you're not on screen because of the fucking It's 9x9. It looks or 3x3. It looks beautiful as a square, and I can't bring you in at the minute. But you are here, so thank you.
That's okay.
It's pronounced
I see you. I see you.
Tig. That's how it's pronounced.
The audience won't see her. All of yous will see her.
I did.
Oh,
Tig?
Yeah, as soon as I saw that.
It's pronounced tyke, like
As
rhymes
in-
with bite.
No, like tiger without the E.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, without the R. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I told you guys, you're more than welcome to laugh your asses off.
Sorry, I don't even know what word we're trying to pronounce because I didn't hear it.
I have a friend
Exactly.
who does kayaking tours around Scotland and the west coast of Scotland, and he makes videos of his adventures. And one of my favourite things is listening. He's from Manchester. Is listening to him trying to pronounce Gaelic names on the west of Scotland. There's a place he went to. Right, he said, "Here I am at Fladachain." It's like, where the hell is that? And it occurred to me, it's actually pronounced Fadacohain, but it's spelled Flada. So he said Fladachain, and he spent the entire video talking about Flada. What the hell are you? There's no such place.
You'd think you'd kind of Google it and click on the how do I
Google
pronounce this
Google is absolutely no help.
Did we lose Jim?
I've made it a small mission of mine to go around YouTube videos that say, how do you pronounce this place, this Scottish name and things like that. And there's a place not far from where I grew up, actually. It's pronounced Tainabruch. But it's spelled Tighnabrich, and people have called it Tiggy Brush, Tignabroke, all kinds of stuff. And there's about 20
that fucking story of
videos.
the Welsh fucking town with like 13 letters in it or something. You know?
Yeah, that was just made up for the tourists.
Yeah.
I have a question. This might be the right place to ask. why Leicester and Gloucester are pronounced that way and written in another way?
I have no idea.
Because you're all no. Hang on. You're all descended from druids, so there you go.
Actually, apart from the Welsh, very few of us are like I can't even speak English. Oh my god, how embarrassing!
I just got you on screen just
most
enough.
of us will probably beats.
Got you on
It's what happened was as our language has developed, and we look at somewhere like Leicester, that looks like Leicester.
Leicester.
Well, that's
But
right. There's a
you have
C
to
in there.
remember
Yeah.
the pronunciation and the conjunction of letters like IE didn't used to mean, it didn't used to be pronounced lie. It was le. And the C was an S, so it was Leicester. But now it looks like
Just if I
Leicester.
can do a wee shout out, 20 minutes and we're going to have to close down because I am going live again at 10 o'clock. I have to go to the shop
okay.
and stuff like that. So another 20 minutes or so if anybody wants to throw in.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm about to go, but I do have one more question. So did you guys switch to the? I assume you had a written language before the Romans came and conquered you guys.
Ha!
I'm not sure that we did actually.
Not really.
Not
really. It was a pictographic language. It wasn't
yeah.
like
What
for
Mike
communication.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is why so much of the history. This is why so much of the history is lost because it was a spoken language.
What
the history
did the
was spoken.
Romans ever do for us?
Roads.
Bring sexism in. That's what they bloody did.
They give us roads.
Besides sanitation, road laws, language.
Sexism.
Sexism. I'm sorry I hit a sore spot. But,
No.
Lisa just pours petrol on the fire,
Well,
annoys
the thing
everybody,
about-
and then bounces. Right, see you all later. You're on fire. Bye.
The thing about
Hadrian's Wall was the thing. Yeah.
The thing about there being a
Hold on,
written
everybody's
language-
over talking everybody. Hold on. Let Lisa finish, then Clockwork. Then
Okay.
Tusk.
Okay.
But I have one more question, and then I'll go. So did the Scots commandeer the Latin alphabet to make their language written then?
Yes.
Or how does that work? Okay.
Well,
all right.
Right.
Yeah,
The
they're
reason,
well-
the reason there's no written history going back a few hundred years in Scotland is because most people were illiterate. No one could read or write, so it was an oral tradition. But then when the Romans came, they only got as far as kind of like the mid west of Scotland.
Beyond the Pale.
Well, they brought the Bible
Sorry.
with them, so we learned Latin. And after that, the English came, so we learned English and we started to write in English. But because the language we had previously was pictographic, we had to adopt a written language for legal matters and so on. So yes, we did adopt the English written language, but not the phonetics. We kept our own spoken language,
Okay.
but we adopted
And
the English.
the English we have now is something like anywhere up to 50% of Old German, and then the rest of it is. I don't know if anything's actually Briton anymore. I really couldn't tell you that.
French.
There's Latin, there's Greek, there's French,
A lot
there's Norwegian,
a lot of it is
Scandinavian. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, thank you for answering my question. I really didn't want to hit a sore spot with the Romans. I'm sorry about that.
No.
Anyway,
It was a long time ago.
It's boo Romans.
It's like, the old joke.
Anyway.
"Don't lose the war."
Yeah, the French.
you
the
guys
French,
have a great day.
Thank you, Lisa.
Take care.
The French are
See you
more
now.
of a sore spot.
Go on ahead there, Clockwork.
I mean, the French were more of a sore spot.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck the French.
Yeah.
I've never got
yeah.
the
If
Scots
anybody
have
wants
always
to
had a
jump in
very
for
good
the last 20
relationship
minutes.
with
Yeah.
the French.
Anybody wants to jump in for the last 20 minutes or so, there's that. Pin tweet.
I
for
mean,
the-
you're all druids. Come on now.
I wish
Well,
we were, darling. I really wish we were. But
the
the Druids were all killed off by the frigging Romans.
Fair
Anglesey.
enough. That
quite
is
all.
fair enough.
Not
Yeah.
quite all.
Thank you.
This week, hopefully, if I can get out, I made a video last week, but I deleted it by accident. Where I grew up, has the biggest cup and ring marked Druid stone in Western Europe. It's absolutely huge. It was a Druidic altar, and it was a calendar, and all the rest of it. And it's been dated back for hundreds and hundreds of years. But it was buried by a team of archaeologists in the 60s, I think, late 60s, early 70s, because they were afraid it would be vandalized. Because
Makes sense, actually, sadly.
And it was uncovered a few years ago to be like re-examined and all the rest of it, and pictured, and then it was reburied. But I remember when I was a kid, there was parts of it were showing where it had been weathered. You know, the soil had eroded and so on. And there was one, it was an altar where there was 2 cups carved into the stone, and it was like a witch trial. If you were stabbed in the chest, and if the blood ran into the left cup, you were innocent, and into the right, you were guilty. But it was a moot point by then because you'd been stabbed in the chest. And
you're fucking dead.
It's a bit like if you drown, you're not aware.
The witch trials. You're drowned, you're grand. You float, you're dead anyway.
That was the last Druidic enclave in Britain, and they lasted for hundreds of years, even through the Roman times. Although the Romans did get that far, but it was
the main Druids who retold the history that were actually all killed off at Anglesey, which is where we lost a lot of our history.
It wasn't until the 15th century where the Catholic Church came in and burned down.
As I said, the Druid priests or whatever, the sort of head honchos.
Go on ahead there, Fabio. You're biting at the lip there.
No, I was just saying that you can say whatever you want about the Romans, but last time I checked, it's Romans 1, God 0. So, I mean, we killed it all, according to a lot of people. So,
Fabio,
you're welcome.
Fabio, you're Italian, not Roman. You're Italian. Don't put yourself down like that, darling.
We all
I don't like
Fabio.
it.
We all love Fabio. Danny, thank you very much for jumping in as well, man. Appreciate it.
God come down.
A lot of people. Oh, sorry, darling.
Oh no, go ahead.
I say a lot of people think Stonehenge is the only stone circle. There's quite a few up in Scotland. I tell you what. Here's an author I absolutely recommend. Her name is Jewell Watson. She writes these books. She's actually not an archaeologist. People who study ancient cultures, brain fart, anthropologist.
Yeah,
but the books she writes are based a bit like the Bible. They're based on real events and real people and real places, but they're fictional. And a lot of them are about when the Romans came to Scotland and what went on there. And Jewell Watson, brilliant author, in my opinion.
Where I grew up was the northernmost Roman fort. It's where that part of the Antonine Wall still exists. That was the demarcation zone from the Roman Empire, and here be dragons. You didn't want to go any further north than that. And I remember when I was a kid at school, there was one of my friends had a metal detector, and he found a perfectly preserved bronze sword in a peat bog.
Wow.
And it was huge. It was about 3 foot long. It was obviously a ceremonial thing, or it belonged to an officer. And he was too young to keep it. So it was lent to the local museum where it was displayed until he was 21, and I think he sold it for £150,000.
Nice.
And he found that when he was 8 or 9 years old.
Wow.
But that's how close the Romans got. But as I've said before, where the cup and ring marked stone is, it's known as Cochno, which is the old Gaelic for Druid. But the land next to it is known as the Abbey lands, because the church built a big abbey over the Druidic temple and bumped the village down.
Funny you mentioned things like that. Like there was recently on Twitter, me and my wee daughter, we walked the mountains to the top of a wee place called Kilbrony outside Rostrevor, and the signs now and everywhere now, and everybody knows it as the Big Stone. My granny had no idea where we were, and she was like, "Oh, she went to Clockmore." It's lost its name now because people are lazy, and we now all just call it the big fucking stone. Even the signs say the big fucking stone. Well, the big stone. Danny, if I can, because
I was going to say it wouldn't be too unlike Ireland's to have a sign that literally says the big fucking stone.
Yeah, the big fucking stone.
When I am up there next time, man, I will bring a permanent marker with me, and I will write it in, and I will take a picture just for you. And it's that far up and that far out of the way. People will not change it for a while, so it'll be quite fun.
Yeah, there's signs in Scotland that say if you're reading this, you've come the wrong way.
If I can, just to bounce over and give it to Danny for a wee while, because we'll be rounding up soon. So, Danny, I don't know how long you've been listening or what the topics that you did jump in, and it's been all over the place. But have you anything you'd like to say or add? Or if anyone doesn't know who Danny is, if you want to give a quick introduction there, Danny.
Yeah, I just go around different streams causing mischief. I like debates, I like philosophy, but no, it seems like you gave me a hot potato, and I can throw it back at you. It seems like you were doing fine with the conversation. I didn't. I was just popping in because I wanted to say I added you on Twitter like you had asked, and then in case
yeah, we'll sort something out.
You didn't know.
You can blame Dave. Blame Dave, because Dave was like, "Who's Danny?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll just give it to him now because we've only got some time left, and you can find out." So it's Dave's fault.
Well, yeah, but a lot of the people that frequent your channel, I don't see around often. Like the other channels I frequent. So, I'm very much into the philosophy, religion stuff. So I see a lot of those streams.
On which side?
You're with what?
He's asking you you're a Christian or not a Christian, basically, in the nice way.
Oh, I'm an atheist. So but I like my Christian brethren, so I'm not an anti-theist or anything like that.
Oh, I don't think there's any anti-theists here. We're all very lovely people.
There are a lot. That's funny. I've come across a lot of anti-theists. I mean, I think I just take anti-theist to be like the idea that like theism in itself like causes harm.
Oh yeah.
I think that.
Well, we can get into that.
Where Knock admitted himself that he is a representative of negative atheism. So his own admittance. I will use that as an example.
In my experience, the people who I've met who have been very, for want of a better word, aggressive atheists and anti-theistic are Christians who've recently deconverted.
Absolutely, yeah.
I deconverted last 2 years ago, maybe. I deconverted 2 years ago.
I'm not saying everyone who's recently deconverted is like that. I'm just saying
I agree with you. I've seen that too.
It seems like a stage because you're rebelling. Depending on when you actually deconvert. And how far down the rabbit hole, or whether you're a young earth creationist or whatever, when you find out the real world is the real world, and if you're an open thinker, you start to think that way, you're fucking pissed off. You're angry.
Yeah, you feel. I've heard some of them feel quite betrayed by the whole upbringing they've had.
I can't remember who did the series, the video. It was called "Christianity Made Me Talk Like an Idiot."
Seth Andrews.
Yeah, and it was the zeal of the newly deconverted, where you're so pissed off when you realise that you've been lied to your entire life and fed a load of shit that you come out swinging. But after a while, you tend to calm down and be more philosophical about it.
Yeah. You get older, you realise and you start to think more for yourself rather than emotional. You start to think, as you say, logical and stuff like that. So.
I do carry a nuanced view.
They're still doing it to everybody.
Yeah. Well, I grew up Catholic. And I had a terrible experience, and I was really angry, and I hated the church. I used to mock religious people and make fun of them and abuse them, really. But then, as I got older, I was like, "Why bother? What good? What good am I actually doing by saying you're an idiot? I can't believe you believe that shit."
Recently, I've explained with Dave. I get people's opinion on this, which would be quite interesting, and then we'll leave it at that, maybe for a topic for an open mic night or something to talk about. But if anyone's been following me, they know recently that what would be the child's grandfather, sort of technically like a father-in-law to me, passed away. And my wee girl was very, very good around the time of the funeral. She went to the funeral and grand, and everything was fine. And she even told Maya Atkinson, me and Maya were hanging out, and she was like, "No, I don't miss Granda at all. No, it's fine. I understand." She does understand the concept of death. the other night when we were in bed, she said to me that she missed Granda. It's been now a week, maybe 10 days or so since she seen him, and she said that she missed him. And I was like, that's fine. And it was like, it's grand because he's watching. And I was like, what do you mean that he's watching? And her mother has mentioned heaven. Right? Now, I can understand her mother losing her father and grieving and stuff like that. And she's a cultural Catholic. We've had this conversation where it's boiled down to, and if you replace the word God with Thor, she agrees with everything I say.
Fair enough.
You know,
that's fair enough.
As with the whole day over here, with it being Protestant Day, it's cultural Catholic, cultural Protestant, and things like that. And at the moment with grieving, I'm not going to have that fight with her, so to speak. It's not worth it. She's just lost her fucking father. She can grieve in whatever way she wants, and she is entitled to grieve in any way that she wants. Exactly. If hell comes into it, I think there'll be a conversation need to be had. But I did say to Elena, and she got to the point where I was like, Granda lives on in your mind, in your memories, and in your heart. You know,
there is also a lot of countries where, you know, for, I don't know, cultural reasons or whatever reasons, they have a really unhealthy relationship with religion. I mean, you won't find that kind of stuff, you know, in Italy, in France, in Germany, you know, in Spain. It seems to me that, I mean, when I first, you know, popped up on the internet, I mean, the fact that people really believed and were actually discussing and fighting about the fact that the Earth might be 6,000 years old. I mean, I was laughing my ass off. I mean, they do not exist. You know, I always thought there was those kind of mythological creatures like unicorns or, you know, nymphomaniacs, those kind of things that you know they're there, but you know, they don't exist. You know, stuff like that. But I didn't even know they existed till I came to the internet and mostly discovered Americans.
Yeah, I was the exact same as
What? I thought you were going to say until you came to Earth.
Yeah, well, the way that we deal with death over here in the Western society, the way we deal with death in the Western society, you know, especially, you know, obviously from a Northern Ireland perspective, but it's a religious. It's got that basis of culture and stuff. And talking to people in America on the night before in England in the night before the funeral. People in England, it's like 2 weeks to the funeral, then it's cremated. Yeah, there's a long period of time. Over here, it's 3 days, tops. 2 days wake, you're in the ground. It's done. It's over and done with. You know, it's the differences in that.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Yeah.
Well, when you have buildings that are 200 years old, 500 years old, you know, when you live in houses that they are, you know, 300 years old, stuff like that, really. People dying doesn't really make too much of a difference. It's just a corpse, which stinks eventually. So you bury it the faster you can, and you move on. You know, it's all there is.
I remember when the first person that was close to me died.
Sorry, I know. I'll say this and then I'll pass over to you. I did make the point to Elena, the daughter, that there is no evidence of heaven. You know, I says that Mummy believes this and I believe this, but there's no evidence to show that way. Granda lives on in your mind and your heart. And by the end of it, she was very good. She was very funny at the funeral. Everybody, I thought, that broke the ice was there must have been 60 people all with their hands closed and everybody praying and saying their final respects. And Elena asked me what they were doing, and I said they're saying goodbye to Granda, and she went to the front door and screamed goodbye Granda at the top of her voice. I swear to fuck that's fair enough. It's absolutely hilarious. But on that, Tusk, I let you finish and then we'll round up, do a round around the room, and then I have to get ready for another stream that's happening. So
it's like Fabio was saying, where we grew up was ancient. You know, there was a church there that was over 1,000 years old. The houses, there was a house, it was built in 1400 and something. So death was just every day. You know, there was nothing to fear. And when one of my friends died by accident when I was a kid, we didn't know how to deal with it. And we were told straight up, he's dead and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. There was none of this, you know, obviously you mourn and you grieve, but it was no ceremony.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, I don't mean to sound, you know, disrespectful or something. You know, of course, it's painful. You know, it's a process, but it's a process. You know, and it's dealt differently if you if you live in an environment that you're surrounded by history and it's really old history, I think it's a different attitude. I don't know.
I thought another one was Elena. Whenever I went into the wake was in the body was in the spare room at the front of the house, and when you arrive, you go in, you pay your respects. And Elena seen me, she came out, she took my hand, she was like, "Come see Granda," and she put her hand on his head and was like, "No, Granda's dead. He don't mind." Look, she put her hand on his forehead, like she.
Yeah, all the kind of reverence we give to death is learned.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're a kid, you go, "Oh, look, he's dead." And that's that. It's not until later on you go, "Oh, you have to be respectful and whisper and wear black and tick around the place," all of that shit. But we do have a very unhealthy attitude towards death in the West.
Outside,
I think so as well. Yeah.
After the funeral outside, I ended up over beside a tree with Elena because she likes bugs and she was looking for bugs, and we were pulling bark off. And for the hour or so that everybody was hanging about after the funeral outside the fucking chapel, I ended up with like 5 or 6 kids, teaching them all about centipedes and woodlice and all. It was like, just pull bark off, you'll find bugs. Great. Fun. Anyway.
I got booed for telling a centipede joke to my partner just the other day. I couldn't resist.
Well, tell us the joke and we'll start with you, Tusk. What cookery have you got coming up after your joke?
Okay. I'm making a bakmi goreng on Thursday, I think, or bakmi goreng, which is a Singapore or Malaysian spicy satay noodle dish. That's Stephen Cup of Reasons asked me to make that because his mum used to make one and you can never find the recipe.
That sounds actually quite interesting.
I saw a centipede and I said, "That's a great boxer, that centipede." He said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "He's the undefeated champion."
Oh, good grief.
The undefeated champion. I thought she was going to break up with me there. And then.
I would see why. Stephen, what have you got coming up? You're next in the line.
So I talk about news, politics, and I go onto other people's live streams just to boost the sex appeal.
And you've started to get into the hang of saying that, but it's really because you've just been tired and not saying much lately.
No, that's well, kind of, but I don't know. I think I'm going to make it my unofficial tagline for other people's channel.
Mm-hmm.
I go on here to boost the sex appeal. That's all.
Is the tech still working?
Tech is still working so far. Anyway, yeah, I'm planning on going live on Wednesday. 6 p.m. Eastern, by the way.
I'll be there on Wednesday to make sure. D. Not a lot of people know you, D. I have a genuine awful lot of respect for you. Same as with Fabio for what you've been doing for the years that you've been doing it. So, D, the floor is yours for anything you would like to say.
Read books by Jules Watson. They're really, really good. The White Mare, the Dawn Stag, the Boar Stone. I don't want to pronounce what the trilogy is because I'll probably fuck it up. Something like the Dalraida trilogy. Excellent books, in my opinion. And it'll give you a bit of even though they're fictional, it will give you a bit of an insight of what happened with the Romans and Scotland.
Danny, have you anything you'd like to say?
No, I'm late to the party. I already said my piece. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you very much. Oz, floor's yours.
Yeah, just real quick on the Atheist Network on the 18th, we have Seth Andrews coming. We're actually going to be talking about his talk about the Satanic Panic, and then our reservations went on sale for our event in Fort Wayne, Indiana on October 9th and 10th. And Seth, Anthony Magnabosco, Dr. Josh, Dave Warnock, there's a few others, so we'll all be there.
Perfect. Dave, have you anything worthwhile saying before you fall asleep?
No.
Clockwork.
Me? Is it my time? Yeah, I figured out how to use StreamYards, so I stream every now and then, and fuck, I had something else to say, but I forgot. So
you should write it down.
If you remember it, leave it in the comments afterwards. I'll pin it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and call back here in 57 minutes and 36 seconds, and we'll be streaming again. We're having an interview with Jesus Unfollower. If anyone's seen him, he's nearly at 2,000 now. His last video, he found a fucking video of a pastor gently singing about Jesus and God loving people, and at the very end of it, it was like he very lovingly decapitates your enemies. Who's your daddy now? And it was very, very funny. So we'll have him on now in about 57 minutes. So everybody come back for that. Should be a bit of crack. The banter is strong with him, so I see the interview being a lot of fun, a lot of back and forth. So yeah, other than that, thanks to everyone who supports. Thanks for everyone for coming and filling my boredom today. I had literally nothing to do with it being Protestant Day, and thanks everybody again. Yeah, so on that note, bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Chucky Arla.